our distinguished guests on the stage, and friends who have come here on this occasion to giving your good wishes for last 50 years of public service, and I hope I can do another 50 years of public service. I'm particularly happy because Shri Yediyurapp came here. Because I've known him for many years. When we were not in power here, there was no chance of coming to power as it was portrayed in the newspapers. But he moved in every district, every village, and created. Many jealous people tried to pull him down, but he has stayed on, he has been vindicated, and I predict that he will be the greatest Chief Minister of Karnataka in the future. And be sure, Yediyurapp ji, I'm always there with you, no matter what. In 2014, we had given to the public in the elections through the BJP 3 important planks for our ideology. One was the ideology of Hindutva. Second was the ideology of wiping out corruption. And third was the fast economic growth by which India can be transformed into a fully developed economy. We have made a lot of progress in some of these objectives. On Hindutva now, and by Hindutva it doesn't mean that it is only for Hindus. Hindutva is Hindu-ness. Hindu-ness has certain qualities. We believe all religions lead to God. We don't say only Hindu religion leads to God. Christianity says only Jesus Christ is the way. Islam says only Allah is the God and no other God, and whoever says there are other gods, they are kafirs. We are the Hindus are the only religion in the whole world which says that all religions lead to God. Of course, we all as Hindus also think that we lead to God faster than others. And we have created over the centuries such prosperity that India used to be called by the Arabs as Sone ki chidiya, that is the golden bird. People came as Buddhist monks to India from China and praised India as such an honest, upright country that even people, when they go out in the evening, they do not put a lock on the door. And the economic growth was such that the GDP calculated shows that we were the highest GDP and highest per capita income up to 1700 AD. And only after that, the decline started. And by 1947, we had become a poor country. We can once again become a very prosperous country. But prosperous is not enough. You must have a country with a mindset to play a global role to spread values. You can have a very strong, a set of strong lions in a cage in a circus. But when the ringmaster goes into the cage, these lions don't know their strength. And they obey that ringmaster. And that is what I found when I saw that my friend Manmohan Singh became Prime Minister of India. With all the power of the Prime Minister, he was afraid of a thin Italian woman. This is mindset. And mindset only comes when we tell our people what our true history is. How many people know that all the countries which were captured or conquered by Islamic forces, they converted the entire 100% to Islam. Same thing with Christians in Europe. They converted the entire Europe to 100% Christian. And all in a short time. Iran was a Zoroastrian country, those we call as Parsis, who came running to India for protection, and we gave them protection. And their only place they are surviving is India today. And in 15 years after conquering Persia, which is now called Iran, they converted the population in that period to 100% Muslim. Babylon and Mesopotamia, which is now called Iraq, also in 17 years. Egypt in 21 years. Europe was converted in 50 years. But in India, we struggled with Islam for 600 years and British Christianity for 200 years, and still we are 82% Hindu in our country. Because all over India, we kept fighting. We never laid down the arms. In this great state of Karnataka, you created the Vijayanagara Empire, which went all the way to the borders of Bengal. It lasted 300 years, covered more territory than the Mughals. But if you look at the history book, there is hardly a mention of the Vijayanagara Empire, maybe one paragraph. But for Mughals, who ruled only for 150 years and covered less areas than the Vijayanagara Empire, there is one chapter for each Mughal Raja. Babur, then Humayun, then Akbar, then Jahangir, then Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb. People don't know that in the end, in 1795, Baji Rao II of the Marathas, leading the Peshwa who led the Maratha forces, defeated the Mughal finally and hoisted the Bhagwa Janda on Red Fort on that day. Our people don't know that 20 years later the British came, we were completely exhausted and tired, and they took advantage. And they were able to rule for 200 years. Now, even those 200 years, you had valorous fighters. Your Karnataka had Rani Chennamma. How many of you know? She fought. And then in 1857, Rani Jhansi. It's only after the defeat of Rani Jhansi by tricks and other methods that Queen Victoria took control of our country and became the Queen of India. So today we have to reverse. I am glad that the Prime Minister yesterday said in Calcutta that we must now start looking at our history and revising it. I will tell the Prime Minister, you are in Calcutta, there is a Victoria Memorial, rename it to Rani Jhansi Memorial. So I am telling you today, we cannot have a proper mindset unless we know the true history of India. And we have to write textbooks made compulsory, because the textbooks today in our schools are so bad that they make you feel inferior. They make you feel ashamed. And we think that we are somehow inferior when we were the most superior nations. And because we were trusting and we welcomed people from abroad with open arms, people took advantage and then occupied this country. Now we must move forward. And ever since 2014, we have been doing new things to say this is a new India, not the old India of Jawaharlal Nehru. We had a surgical strike and then the Pulwama strike, and now Pakistan is afraid to come do anything at all. In the last 5 years, the number of civilians killed by terrorists in Kashmir has come down from in 300 level down to less than 10 today. Do any of the newspapers publish it? What an achievement it is. Kashmir today, people said if you remove 370, there will be fire, there will be this will happen, that will happen. Nothing has happened. Not one single bullet has been fired in Kashmir. Now foreign ambassadors have gone there and come back to say normalcy has come. Yes, there are some people in jail, but then if we had let them out, they were in danger. The terrorists might have even killed them. For their safety, we arrested them. But slowly the thing is being restored. We are uniting our country and giving respect to our people who have suffered. This latest CAA, Citizenship Amendment Act, what a lot of noise is being made. But nobody has read the bill. I think most Congress people can't read and write, so it's not their fault. What is the bill about? That those who are persecuted for their religion, who left Afghanistan, who left Pakistan, who left Bangladesh, came to India, they are still illegal immigrants. They can't get a job. There are Hindus in it, there are Sikhs in it, there are Christians in it, there are Buddhists in it, there are Parsis, Zoroastrians in it. And the total number is only 31,313 people. They have been rotting in the camps because they can't get a job, because they don't have any documents, they don't have citizenship, they don't have passports, they don't have Aadhaar cards. So throughout the last 70 years, congressmen were giving speeches that we should give them citizenship. Even as early as 1947, November 26th, Congress Working Committee said those who come from Pakistan, that time there was only one Pakistan, Bangladesh was part of it. Now it is two Pakistans, Bangladesh and Pakistan. It has gone into two pieces. Very soon it will go to 4 pieces now. Baluchistan, Pakhtunistan, Sindh, they will all separate. But at that time in 1947, the Congress Party Working Committee resolved that those who come from Afghanistan, Pakistan, they should be given citizenship. But they didn't implement it because they wanted to appease some minority or the other. Our minorities, our Hindu, Muslim minorities in India, their citizenship is not affected at all. We are just a question of giving citizenship. And to whom to give it? Those who came because of persecution. Which Muslim will come because of persecution from Pakistan and Bangladesh when that country is Islamic republics? So there were no Muslims in the list. So we didn't include them. So therefore, the whole idea was that we will see to it that these people get citizenship because we've been promising. 2003, Manmohan Singh spoke in Rajya Sabha and appealed to Advani, please give citizenship to these people as soon as possible. But now when he gave a speech in Parliament, it was just a somersault. 2003, he was not under the influence of Sonia Gandhi. But 2019, he was definitely. And therefore, he changed his tune. All the things that are coming in the papers and abroad is only to slander our party. That is the party which is standing for Hindutva. VHS will fight for whenever unfair criticism made against anybody. And today I am telling you that this bill that we have passed, we have done the duty to the Indian people who, on the assurance of Jawaharlal Nehru and Liaquat Ali Khan, went and stayed in Pakistan, didn't leave, and they were persecuted. We were 21% in Pakistan at that time, and now we are just 1.5% in India. Can you tell me what is responsible for this decline? In our country, Muslim population has not declined. In fact, it has gone up. But in their country, all non-Muslim minorities have declined. So I'm saying that the attack is still there. We must get ready. And we must now improve our defense in such a way that never again this kind of problems will happen. Kashmir is still partly in the hands of Pakistan, which is called POK. We are ready for taking it back. Why taking it back? Why taking it back? Because in 1994, Narasimha Rao moved a resolution in Parliament, both houses, that we members of Parliament, we also know our true history, for which we need to write books. We need to know the value of Sanskrit. Sanskrit is not an ancient language. It is a language of the future. Why? Because NASA has done research and published it in the Journal of Artificial Intelligence that when artificial intelligence develops and we have to store knowledge in the computer, the best language is Sanskrit and no other language. In future, when knowledge is going to be put in the computer and stored, it will be in Sanskrit. And that's why now Sanskrit is being taught in Germany and America as a compulsory course for those who are learning artificial intelligence. But in India, we say, oh, this is communalism. It is not. It is there in our constitution. Article 351 says that Hindi language shall be developed through Sanskrit vocabulary. Clearly states there. And the script shall be Devanagari. So therefore, every one of us must learn the mother tongue and along with it, slowly a Sanskritized Hindi. And that Sanskritized Hindi will make us all one. Easy to travel in different parts of the country. We also now have to devote some energy to our economy. It has been failing and I've been predicting it will fail. But India can turn around. Nobody can put India down forever. In 1965, there was a food crisis in our country. Our government was begging the Americans to send PL 480 wheat so that there is no famine here. Lal Bahadur Shastri became Prime Minister. He called all the scientists and said, what is the difficulty in growing more crops? They said, well, there's no proper water, there's no pesticide, there's no fertilizer, there's no potassium, nitrogen, phosphate. So he said, prepare a package and give it to the farmers. They couldn't give it to all the farmers. They gave to top 10% of the farmers who had large amounts of land. And when we were being told by the whole world that you are going to have famine, people will eat each other up, there will be riots in the country, within 10 years, we became self-sufficient through the process of Green Revolution, thanks to Lal Bahadur Shastri. Same thing, our growth rate from 1947 to 1990 was just 3.5% per year. 3.5% is not enough. It cannot solve your problems of poverty and unemployment. So the leftists started saying this is a Hindu rate of growth. The real reason was the Soviet model that we had adopted, which was unsuited for India. All the communists used to say, Soviet Union is heaven, there is no unemployment there, there is no poverty there, there is no inflation there. In 1990, there was no Soviet Union also there, broken into 16 countries. Narasimha Rao and before that Chandrasekhar started the process, but Narasimha Rao completed the process. We brought in economic reform and the growth rate increased from 3.5% to 8% in just 5 years. But today we have to grow not at 8%. We must grow at 10% or 11% or 12%. Then only we can, within 10 years, overtake China and then remove unemployment, remove poverty. Only with that rate of growth. Is it possible? Of course it can be possible. All you need is to motivate our young people. We are the youngest population in the world today for large countries. Average age of an Indian is only 26. What is the average age of China? 35, because they have practiced that one child per family. What is the average age of America? 37. Europe, 46. Japan, 50. These are aging populations. Ours is the only one with a young population, which is why we call it as demographic dividend. But you must give them good education. We only spend 2% or 1.5% of our GDP on education. We should spend at least 6%. Then only make it possible for everybody to get education. If that happens, there is no worry about reservations at all. And if you do that through innovations, you can transform. Every year we have some quarrel between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka for Kaveri. So when I go to Madras, these press people out of mischief ask me, are you for Karnataka or are you for Tamil Nadu? Kaveri water is being denied to Tamil Nadu. What do you have to say? I said, if you want water, then I can get you water. But if you want Kaveri water, you will not get it. What is the difference between water and Kaveri water? And where am I going to get water from? Desalination of seawater. Israel is now 100% of their population is getting 24 hours a day water in their tap, because even though they don't have a river, they desalinate seawater, take out the salt and give drinking water. Saudi Arabia is clandestinely now buying Israeli equipment. Dubai is now all green. It was previously all sand because of desalination of seawater. You got this long coastline both for Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. If you set up desalination sea plants, you will get as much water as you want. You will get it for 24 hours a day. In Tamil Nadu, the Kalpakam nuclear power complex, they were denied water by the Tamil Nadu government. We don't have enough water. We are not getting enough water from Kaveri. So they set up a desalination plant. And today the only place in Tamil Nadu where you get water in your tap, purified 24 hours a day, is in the Kalpakam nuclear facility and nowhere else in Tamil Nadu. In Jamnagar, the Reliance set up a refinery, oil refinery. The Jamnagar municipality said, we don't have enough water because oil refinery requires a lot of water and we don't have water. So they set up a desalination plant. And today the Reliance is selling water to the corporation of Jamnagar. And they have got plenty of water. Technology can transform everything. We have 60% of the world thorium. Thorium is the next atomic fuel after uranium exhausts in 2050. And we have got it plenty lying on the sands of Tamil Nadu coast and Kerala coast. And if we convert that thorium into uranium 230, 203, we will be able to get electricity so much that you will get it free. It will generate so much that you can give to your neighbors. But you have to develop that. If tomorrow we, instead of using petrol for cars, we use hydrogen fuel cells, which is now coming, the Japanese have already started producing cars, then what will happen? We won't have to buy oil, so expensive for us. Then others will imitate us and take to hydrogen fuel cells. Then the Arabs will not be able to sell oil. They will all have to go back to tents and camels once again. India is a land of potential. And I'm not afraid, because every time we have a crisis, today we do have a crisis, economic crisis, but we can turn it around. We have turned it around in 1965 by bringing Green Revolution. We turned around in 1990 onwards by bringing economic reforms. Today also we can take steps by which it can be turned around. So I am not worried about the crisis so much. as the need to become as quickly as possible a developed country. The idea of VHS is only this: how to prepare your mind so that it is not brainwashed. Our people, I must tell you, more independent people are in rural areas of India than urban areas. In 1977, there was this emergency, concluded by bringing elections. Indira Gandhi declared elections. All the people in America told me that Indira Gandhi is bound to win. Why? Because they said democracy is for educated people. Democracy is for people who are not in poverty. And therefore, you will see that people will vote for Indira Gandhi. When the results came out, the southern states which are more educated voted for Indira Gandhi, including Karnataka. But the northern states of poverty, UP defeated Indira Gandhi herself in the constituency and wiped out the Congress completely from every seat in UP and Bihar. And so in Rajasthan, so in Haryana, Madhya Pradesh. And that's how the Janata Party came to power. So let us learn that being educated is not sufficient. What kind of education? That education which empowers you to think about the true history of India, which empowers you to think in dynamic terms, taking risk. Indians are afraid of risk. They all want safe jobs. Even IIM people, when they come out, they don't think of opening a new company like Americans do. They want to get a corporate sector job and then get provident fund and retirement funds and privileges and retire at the age of 60 or 65 and then watch television after that. We must now have young people who are willing to take risk. And that risk means starting new ventures. Doesn't matter if you fail. Rise up again and do it again. That kind of mental attitude is necessary. That can only come by a proper education. By teaching the lives of all people like J.C. Bose, like Vishwesharaya or C.V. Raman. How did they get all these discoveries with nothing in their hand, in utter poverty? You know that the greatest mathematician we have produced in the world today is one from Tamil Nadu, who was in utter poverty. He went to Cambridge and they recognized him. So Ramanujam became the greatest mathematician. So I'm saying to you that India has a past history. Let us recognize that. Let's open our mind. We will have no difficulty. We are a country which is now going to be a world power, and we have got all the potential. We have got large areas of agriculture which can triple or quadruple our production. Our cows today are being recognized in America and New Zealand as producing milk which is more medicinal value is much more than the cows of America. Our cows are now given the name as Bos Indicus, and the cows of America are called Bos Taurus. And if you go to the supermarket, there will be a separate carton, A2 milk, and in small print, milk from the cows of India, which has much more medicinal value, and so it costs 4 times the price of the cow of the milk from the American cow. And we don't even know its value. There are 150 million cows in our country giving you only 200 liters per year. One Israeli cow gives you 11,000 liters per year. Imagine if 150 million cows started giving you Israeli average of 11,000 liters per year, how much milk there will be? I can come from Delhi to Bangalore swimming in milk. That much milk you will have. So this is the self-confidence we want to build. Because all the education that the British constructed was to make you feel inferior. Aryans, Dravidians. There's no basis for it. Because all our DNA is the same. Is there any difference between the DNA of a Brahmin and a scheduled caste? No. Why? Because this Varna system was not birth-based. Chapter 4 of Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna that it is gunas that decide your varna and not your birth. That is why when Ambedkar got good education, he went to Cambridge, he went to Columbia University and got a PhD in economics. Went to London and got DSc in London School of Economics. Got a law degree, came back and became the chairman of the drafting committee. Such was his intellectual prowess. And Jawaharlal Nehru, he went to Cambridge and failed. All Nehru family people have failed. None of them has passed. And if there anyone claims like that, please let me know. I'll file a case and get that. And still Jawaharlal Nehru was called Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Ambedkar should be called Pandit Ambedkar. This oneness of our people, that has to come through our mind. Unfortunately, in our country, all these leftists and all, they are still pursuing that old imperialist plot to divide our country and make us out to be people who are in different paths. This country is a continuing civilization of the Hindus. Others have come, we welcomed them. When they came peacefully, we looked after them. The Parsis came, we gave them a place in Gujarat, and when the British left India, they asked the Parsis, you're such a small community, this big Hindu community will swallow you. So we want to give you some reservations in the new constitution that India will be producing. So the Parsi community told the British, no, you don't have to worry. For 1,000 years, the Hindus have looked after us. You go, we don't need you. The Hindus will look after us. The Jews were persecuted all over the world. But they came to India, we gave them a place, we built their synagogues. And when Israel was created, these Jews went back. And then the Israeli parliament passed a resolution, thank you, India, the only country where Jews were not persecuted. So if any person of any religion comes to a Hindu and wants protection, we will be there to give. But if you start threatening us or asking for a separate existence, that we will not give. We are very keen today to build a united India. Many people come and tell me, why don't you allow the Rohingyas to come to India? Why I should allow the Rohingyas to come to India? In 1944, the Rohingyas declared that Jinnah is their leader. They were living in Burma, but they declared that Jinnah is their leader. And then when Burma set up, which is now called Myanmar, set up the Constituent Assembly to decide a constitution, they had two nominees of the Rohingya community in the Constituent Assembly. And their speech was what? We don't want to be part of Burma. We want to go to Pakistan. But Pakistan was not ready to accept it. Now the world is saying, no, don't be intolerant. Let the Rohingyas come to India. I'm told they have come to Karnataka also. If they are, don't worry, we will send them away very soon. Why should India be a dharamshala that anybody can come with his chatai and put it and go sleep in this country? This country is for those who were born here, who have lived here, who have imbibed the culture of this country. We want a united India, and that is only can come through the mind. The mind must know what we are. And that is why the VHS was formed. It has grown and grown. Yesterday we had a session in Calcutta where the governor of West Bengal also came. There was a very enthusiastic crowd. We have in Bombay also. And of course, Bangalore is the starting point of VHS. And I'm also a Bangalorean because my father and mother lived here. They died here. Even today, my sister lives in Bangalore. So I also am a Bangalorean. So Bangalore is a historic place of the Vijayanagaram Empire, which lit a torch for 300 years of our country. Today, the South Indian temples are safe. only because of the Vijayanagaram Empire. And with this pride that we never surrendered to anybody and ultimately threw away whoever tried to suppress us. That self-confidence, capacity to take risk, develop new innovations, that kind of youth will transform India, and that is what we have come together. Thank you very much for this 50th year celebration.
Jai Sri Ram! Jai Sri Ram! Jai Sri Ram! Thank you, sir. Thank you for everything. Please be seated for a few minutes, please. Thank you. Now I request Ranjit to give the vote of thanks, please.
And taking part in this memorable event. Thank you, sir. We thank Dr. Swamy for giving us this opportunity to hold this special event in Bengaluru. Thank you, sir. We thank Shri Bhaskar Rao, Commissioner of Police, Bengaluru City, and his team for giving us superb security. We thank Srimati Sili Amuva, co-founder HCARD and co-sponsor for this event. We thank Professor R. Vaidyanathan, member of National Security Advisory Board. We thank Sri Iyer, co-founder of P Gurus and renowned author. We thank Sri Jagdish Shetty, National General Secretary, VHS. We thank Dr. K.P. Putturaya, former director of Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences. We thank Mr. M.N. Ravishankar, who has been a backbone for this program. Thank you, sir. We thank Professor Dr. Hemalata. We thank Chetan Thayal, Chairman of Bharat Group of Companies. We thank all the teachers present here. We thank all the wonderful audience. We thank Police Department, technicians, media persons, all VHS volunteers, and Shikshakar Sadhana Management. Thank you all. I request everyone to stand up and let's sing Vande Mataram.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam, Suphalam, Malayaja Shitalam, Sasya Shamalam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Shubhra Josna, Pulakitayaminim, Pulla Kusumita, Drumadala Shobhinim, Subhashinim, Sumadhura Bhashinim, Sukhadam Varadam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram. Bharat Mata ki, Bharat Mata ki, Bharat Mata ki.
So,